All right, let's dive right in. We're about to break down a mission where the plan had to be perfect, because if you mess up, failure isn't just an option, it's an absolute catastrophe. This is Operation Wenchmageddon. And that's coming straight from the team lead, Artemis. Let that sink in. Her team of 12 is going up against a private army of 80, maybe even 100 augmented mercenaries. The odds are just impossible. But like she says, for them, that's just another day at the office. So what is this impossible mission? Well, Operation Wenchmageddon is a surgical extraction. We're talking about pulling people out of a fortress buried deep, deep in the North African desert. The objective sounds simple enough. Rescue 24 embassy staff. They're being held in a compound called Desert Shield. But this place is not just some building. It's a concrete monolith defended by sensor towers, automated guns, and the whole thing is run by a defensive AI they call the Oasis. It was literally designed for total isolation. And this really shows you just how lopsided this fight is. On one side, you have 12 elite operatives, a ghost unit that relies on pure stealth. On the other, a massive, augmented mercenary force whose only loyalty is to their paycheck. You know, it's that classic scalpel versus sledgehammer scenario. In one wrong move means that scalpel gets absolutely shattered. So how in the world do they plan to level the playing field? Well, with gear that is purpose-built to dismantle the enemy. Their Sirocco carbine is silent. The ion jolt pistol, it literally fries cybernetic links. You see, they aren't just fighting the soldiers, they're fighting their tech. But all that amazing tech is only half the plan. Their infiltration strategy is where things get really genius, because they don't just fight the enemy, they use the desert itself as a weapon. Okay, so picture this. Their cover is a Haboob, a colossal sandstorm. Just as it's about to hit, a high-altitude EMP detonates. This creates a tiny 10-minute window of total electronic blindness for that Oasis AI. That's their moment. They breach, they grab the hostages, and they get out before the AI reboots and the storm passes. It is all about timing. And this number, this is everything. 10 minutes. That is the entire window they have to fight their way through a fortress, find 24 terrified civilians, and start the extraction. If they're even a second late, that AI reboots, and they're trapped inside a kill box. And the breach is just surgical chaos. The EMP hits, the lights go out, and the teams are through the gates. For the mercenaries, their high-tech HUDs are dead. Their comms are silent. The initial resistance is just a bunch of confused guys stumbling around in the dark, and they are neutralized with ruthless efficiency. But as the team pushes deeper, they find something that definitely wasn't in the briefing, and they start to realize this entire mission, well, it might have been a lie. And this is the question that changes everything. They came for embassy staff, sure, but the compound's construction, its defenses, its layout, it all just feels wrong. It's way too fortified, too deep. And then their off-site tech support, Elohim, confirms their worst fears with this one chilling line. The compound wasn't built to keep people out, it was built to keep something in. The mercenaries aren't just guards, they're wardens. And the hostages, they're either bait or maybe just a terrible accident. Because right there, in the room with the hostages, they find this. A massive sealed NATO hatch, and it's humming with power. It's a relic from the pre-collapse world, from a time before everything changed, and it is very much active. And it's not just humming. No, it's broadcasting a signal, but the encryption is ancient. It's pre-digital. It's a language so old the team's AI analysts can't even begin to understand it. Something is awake down there, and it has been waiting a very, very long time. So, the clock is ticking, the compound's AI is rebooting, and a cosmic mystery is literally opening up right under their feet. With the mercenaries starting to regroup, the team has to play their ace in the hole. This is tactically brilliant. The moment the AI reboots, the team broadcasts a fake signal. Every single Merc's HUD flashes the same message: payment revoked, contract void. In the middle of a firefight, they're being told the money's gone. A mercenary army's greatest strength, its professionalism, is also its greatest weakness. Their loyalty is transactional. You take away the transaction, and their morale just fractures instantly. So while the garrison is falling apart, that NATO hatch opens. For 3 seconds, one of the operatives, Queenie, is flooded with data. Her cybernetics interface directly with this vast alien intelligence that communicates in pure geometric concepts. It's described as beautiful, terrifying, and older than anything she can possibly comprehend. The hatch is sealed, the garrison is in chaos, and the hostages are secure. Now it all comes down to one final, desperate sprint to the extraction point. Now, that gambit broke most of the garrison, but not all of them. There's a core of about 10 hardened veterans left. These are ex-coalition soldiers. They know a psychological operation when they see one, and they are making a final stand at the only way out. And these are the stakes. 24 civilians, weak, terrified, and freezing, being evacuated through an active firefight, with the compound's AI now fully awake and its turrets hunting for targets in the swirling sand. This single number shows you the final, impossible gap they have to cross. 200 meters of open desert between the gate and their escape, with veterans firing from cover and turrets scanning from above. That is going to be the longest 200 meters of their lives. And in the end, they make it. The hostages are out, the team is out. But the real story isn't just the rescue. It's the questions that are left behind. What exactly did that ancient intelligence show Queenie in those 3 seconds? And maybe more importantly, when it sent that signal up to the sky, who or what is on its way to answer?